Hi, and welcome to another episode of Reuben's Corner. Today's book summary is on the Wim Hof method. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a book by this guy named Wim Hof, and he is also known as the Iceman. He has set all kinds of records for doing all kinds of crazy stunts, mostly related to holding his breath and being exposed to very cold temperatures and doing crazy things like being buried in ice and living through it and not even getting cold and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He's the Iceman. There's basically three things that he's trying to convince everybody in the world to do. Number one is breathe more intentionally, do breathing exercises. Number two, do cold therapy. And number three, commit to it. Doing these things takes a lot of time and a lot of commitment. So the preface here, the whole benefit of doing these breathing exercises is that heightened oxygen levels will give you a ton of benefits. And he teaches these specialized breathing techniques that he calls the Wim Hof method. And he says that it's going to give you more energy, reduce stress levels, an augmented immune response that dwells, and an augmented immune response that swiftly deals with pathogens. I'm reading that from the website. Basically, it's supposed to do all these wonderful things for you. And it's not the first time I've heard this. My aunt has been big into breathing for about half of my life. That has been her life's dedication and focus. She's an artist, but she got big into breathing. So I have been hearing this for a very long time, that breathing is a very important thing, and we all do it wrong. I've been hearing this for a long time. And there's information from a bunch of other authors on this. I've heard this from David Asprey. I think I've heard it from Tim Ferriss, and I can't remember who else, about the importance of doing these breathing exercises. And then the other thing he talks about a lot is cold therapy, saying that proper exposure to cold starts a ton of health benefits, including the buildup of, now I'm reading again, the buildup of brown adipose tissue and the resultant fat loss, reduced inflammation that facilitates your immune system, balanced hormone levels, better sleep quality, and the production of endorphins. And so all kinds of great stuff that's supposed to come from cold therapy. And again, not the first time I've heard this. I know Tony Robbins, that may have been the first person I heard about this from, just talking about how great it is to take cold showers or ice baths or whatever. And a lot of the same authors. I've heard about cold therapy way more than I have breathing. And I even started doing it a little bit last year, and I just kind of fell off, and I never really got all that into it. I guess because I wasn't committed enough. I hadn't heard enough about all the benefits, and also because I hadn't really learned how to do it properly. So for this book, the Wim Hof method, he guides you through how to do all these things. For cold exposure, what it comes down to, he says, end every shower with the water on cold. Start slowly. Start off at 15 seconds. You take a shower, the last 15 seconds, turn it to cold. Do it gradually. Don't do it so quickly that you lose your breath, because your response is going to be, I got to get out of here. And I can tell you, that's how I always did it in the past, and it sucked. But I've been following this advice for the past week or two, and it's much better when you just gradually go to cold, then count to 15, and do that for a week, and then move to 30 seconds, and then move to 60 seconds, and then 90 seconds, week after week. So by week 4, you might be at 90 seconds or something like that. And I can tell you, you might want to move up faster depending on how comfortable you are with it. I ended up moving all the way up to 1 minute in the first week, just because it wasn't that bad. And I'm a cold person. Yeah, this might be a little bit too much information, but I'll tell you, when winter comes here in Minnesota, in fact, who am I kidding? When fall comes, I get out the long underwear and I wear them all year until the spring comes. So basically, it's like October through April. I'm wearing long underwear. That's what I do. I am a cold person. So I'm just telling you this to tell you, even if you're cold all the time, you can do this and you can get past it. He says it's you're not going to get sick anymore as soon as you start doing this, and you're not going to be cold anymore, and it's going to give you more energy. Your heart rate is going to go down. He says that you will get addicted to doing this after 10 straight days, and it's going to help you control stress. We all have the innate ability to control the stress of cold, and doing this gives you that ability. It awakens your ability. So we'll see how it goes. I'm committed to doing this. I will come back another two months from now, and I'll tell you, I'm taking 5-minute cold showers on full cold, and I'm loving it. That's what I'm looking forward to. We'll see how it goes. But, and then, okay. So the other thing that he's huge on here is the breathing method. There's a lot about this, and let me find my notes here. He says the way you're supposed to do this is you take 30 to 40 deep breaths. You go in through your nose, out through the mouth, and then repeat. Do it about 30 times, no pauses in between. You take the deepest breath that you possibly can. Breathe into your belly. Fill your belly up with air, not your chest. We're doing belly breathing. Deepest breath possible. Exhale all the way out. Your breath, you're breathing in an ocean. You are breathing out every last drop of air, and then repeat over and over again. Do this 30 times, and by that time, you should start to feel a little bit tingly, maybe a little bit lightheaded, and then you do it 10 more times. Yeah. So we're going for 40 of these, 40 deep breaths, and let's see. After you're at the end of that, he says now you bring in your consciousness. You stop after the 40th exhalation. So all gone, and then hold it. You hold your breath right there. And he said that you can hold your breath for a ridiculous amount of time by doing this. And I practiced this a little bit, and he was actually right. In the past, I could hold my breath for maybe about 60 seconds or so. That seemed like about my limit. Doing this method, the first time I tried it, I held my breath for about 1 minute after the first pause, and then you're supposed to do 4 sets of this. I forgot to say that. So you hold your breath as long as you possibly can, and then you breathe in, hold it for 15 seconds, and then you repeat. You take 40 full breaths in, out, hold it for as long as you can, breathe in for 15 seconds, and then repeat. You do 4 sets of those. By the time I got to my 3rd set, I had a timer. I was curious, how am I doing on this? I was able to hold my breath for 1 minute and 53 seconds, which I wasn't really paying attention to the timer. It was just, you know what? There's an app. I'll tell you, that's how I timed it. I wasn't trying to time myself to challenge myself, but there's this app that somebody told me about. It's called the Wim Hof app. And he's got like these breathing challenges, and it guides you through how to do the breathing and the ice baths and all that. And I think you get like a certain number of them you can do for free, and then he wants you to pay for it. Yeah, whatever. It's kind of cool. It guides you through how you're supposed to do the breathing exercises. But the point here is minute 53. I've never held my breath for anywhere near that long in my life. So that was kind of crazy. And he said, you do all this stuff and you're going to have more energy and you're not going to get sick and all this other stuff. And I will admit, I had more energy after doing this. There was definitely something to this. And I definitely got the tingling part and all that other stuff. And, somewhere in the book, he said, do this exercise, do this, do that, and do not try this at home. And I just kind of went, huh? Like, what? Then where am I supposed to do it? Yeah, I didn't get an answer to that one. And of course, this should probably go without saying, but he says, don't do any of this near water. Like, you're not supposed to be doing this to test what you can do underwater. Because if you do happen to do these exercises and you pass out, that could be bad if you're submerged. So There's a bunch more to it. He talks about, he gives exercises about if you're somebody who always has cold hands or cold feet. He has some suggestions in there for you. If you're in physical pain, he has some exercises mostly related to breathing on what you can do to alleviate physical pain. What else here? Yeah, that's about it. Lot of inspirational stuff here. A lot of, he says, admittedly, a lot of this feels like it might be new agey and hippy dippy type of stuff, but it really does work. So I'm fascinated, and I'll be trying all of these methods for the next few months. We'll see how it goes. All right, that is the Wim Hof method. Thanks for watching.